This week, what happens if you smoke too fast? Top cigars to smoke on Halloween. I want cigars and candy because they pair wonderfully together. A cigar box modeled after Call of Duty. Let's see, Ramon Aliones 898 just looks absolutely delicious. Killer Bee Shaolin, believe it or not, that's in reference to a cigar. Davidoff Year of the Rabbit. And we're going to be smoking Jason's Blind Smoke number 2. All that and more on this episode of the Stogie Geek Show.
This is Security Weekly. For security professionals, by security professionals. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the show where cigars burn slow, ashes fall fast, and cocktails flow steady. It's the Stogie Geek Show. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. Joe and I are already silly.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Hozempa, a.k.a. Joe Hollywood, is here with me in studio.
I'm fired up. So we also have Remote Drew, who is remote over in Texas. Look at you. You got some Stogie Geek swag going on in the background.
Got my banner.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm all set up for the Stogie Geek mobile lounge.
Confidence. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air, thinking you're better than anyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone in the first place.
Plasencia Cigars, perfected for more than 150 years. Yours to enjoy now.
Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, joined by my illustrious cigar smoking friends. To my left, Mr. Joe Hozempa. What's
Hello.
up, Joe?
Good afternoon.
Good to have you here, man.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to be back in the studio.
I'm excited to have you here. Mr. Bill Brenner is here with us.
Hello.
Your mic is working now. It's amazing.
My mic is working.
I'm so glad, because we want to hear everything you have to say.
I thought I was going to be the red shirt.
You were like shadow banned there for a while. In case you hadn't heard, Mr. Jason Albuquerque is here with us.
Hey.
Elon's taking control of Twitter. We'll see what happens with that.
Access people.
He already fired a bunch of people.
know,
Step
totally.
one.
Totally. Step
I
one.
mean, it can't get any worse.
There is that.
Mm-hmm.
There is that.
It's
Who
been a
knows?
cesspool. It will continue to be a cesspool.
Pretty much. A wretched hive of scum and villainy. I had some pretty funny comments before the show. I did.
You did.
I literally bypassed the compressor. I'm like, just like on Force Awakens. I'm like, I bypassed the compressor.
That's right.
It was awesome.
You had some good ones.
You might be the only person ever to quote from The Force Awakens.
I do. I find myself like, that's not how it's put. That's not how it works. I quote that line too. And he said, "We'll just use the Force." Like, that's not how it works. Yes. We got some good stuff to talk about. So lots of good topics and some announcements and cigars. I didn't put in much what I've been smoking. Maybe it'll come to me. Some things that I've smoked. Usually if it sticks out of my mind, it's worth talking about on the show. And we've got Jason's blind cigar number 2.
Yes.
So Jason, why don't you go ahead and tell us what the cigar is?
We're smoking a 5.5 by 44 mystery cigar. And that's
5.5. It is 5.5 by 44.
5.5 by 44 Vitola.
You just saved us the trouble of measuring it.
Yeah, I didn't bother. I mean, why break out a measuring tape if you don't have to, right? That's all I'm going to give you, though.
But I think the aroma from the foot
right, was very much, we described it as animal cracker, graham cracker.
Yeah.
I like yours because Portuguese over there is like, it's Portuguese sweetbread.
Yes, totally. It was. I got a little bit of sweetbread.
But those are all in the same flavor
Yeah,
wheel,
totally,
right? Like,
totally.
so I think we all kind of nailed that, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Joe, you got some notes over there. He's
No, I'm ready to guess the plan, but
Are you?
yeah,
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Already?
already.
No
Done.
way.
Done data.
Wow. Throw it out there.
Well, the thing is, honestly,
Throw it out
like
there.
in my backpacks in out of the studio, I actually have notes on this cigar. I've had
Do
this,
you really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Joe already knows. You're not gonna be able to stump Joe in these.
You
answers-
already
these
know what
things we
cigar
do. We're
this
not.
is?
I was well, we're gonna let everyone else know. But
Okay, all right,
if this was the end of the show, I would be ready to rock.
Would
and
you?
roll. Yeah.
Look at you already that quick.
But I'm
I
excited.
mean, I'm venturing to guess that Joe's right. Like, I'm not a betting person, but like, I would put my money on Joe right now
Would you?
because he sounds
All right.
confident.
Well, I want to hear what you got. I'm starting to get a little peppery on
fake
the lips.
it, Paul. I've been faking it for 47 years.
I'm starting to get a little peppery on the
Fake it till you
lips.
make it. Fake it till you make it, baby. I got the initial retro hail in the first third. A similar kind of profile. I would describe it more as a caramel kind of sweetness.
Yep.
It definitely has that graham cracker, animal cracker. I'll go with you on the Portuguese sweetbread.
There you go. I like
mean,
it.
those are just ways to describe the type of flavors that we have, right? And I think those are all pretty accurate. Are you slurping down coffee over there? Is that slurping down your McDonald's
I
coffee?
slept.
You
I'm
did.
sorry. I was so trying
There
to
is
eat.
no slurping on the show, Joe.
Dude, I am like totally like non-stealthy at anything. You know? Didn't mean that.
Oh my god, that's so.
So what, I want to hear you know. Pretend that you don't already have.
No. Yeah. So far, what I did honestly, I came in.
He's like on Wheel of Fortune, and there's one letter. He's like, I'd
Seriously.
like to solve the puzzle. Like, what the
Right.
No, I have pre-draw and I do my notes. Then I do have first, second, third, rapid binder, filler. I think it's going to be a very big challenge of us to decipher what it is because of what the stick is so far. If I'm correct with the stick, but however, pre-draw I'm getting just barnyard, little touch of mocha, and then the graham crackers. And then on the first so far, I have white pepper on the retro for sure.
Yep.
Which is going to tell me that it's going to be Nicaraguan mix somewhere in there, and that's where I'm at now. But that's where I'm going. I put the roadmap in. I fill in the different things as I go through.
What do you think the wrapper is? Because you're getting that sweetness is coming from the wrapper. We may
Yeah.
even have a topic, or I saw something about like how much. I think it was in the fan mail.
Yeah, like
Got to
most-
look at my fan mail story number 13 while we're talking and just kind of peruse that because there's some good stuff to talk about in there. But in one of it was we talk about most of your flavor comes from the wrapper. And I those flavors I'm getting are very distinct. Like I already want to buy a box of these cigars right now, and I'm like, I'm still in the first third, and I'm like,
I
because
love
this
it.
is
I love
in
it.
my wheelhouse.
I think they're only available in 5-packs.
Maybe. Maybe.
But anyway,
I want to say I did buy them in a couple of 5-packs.
oh, you did. They happen to have like a brown paper bag type of thing to it, or you're not gonna.
Big. No.
Yeah, don't put stuff in my head already because
Okay, I
I'm just
won't.
through the first third. I'm getting great sweetness still.
Yeah, it's
Yep, me
it's
too.
real. It's a super good stick.
And I couldn't tell you what the wrapper is right now.
I just put natural for now, and then I'll
Yeah,
kind of hold in natural. So you go.
because it's almost like it's not Cameroon, but it's almost in that Cameroon kind of sweet. But there would be more of a cedar
Yep.
flavor that you would get from Cameroon. So I'm ruling out Cameroon, even though like color wise and somewhat flavor wise, it's like almost but Cameroon has a cedar kind of wood flavor to it, and I'm getting nothing but like
No.
caramel and graham crackers
Yep.
right now.
Yep. Caramel, graham
Which I'm liking
crackers.
very much.
Maybe your caramel is like similar to like my mocha, like just a touch,
Yeah.
touch there.
Well, it is because like
I-
if you took caramel and graham cracker, then we're getting really specific, right? But caramel has that a little more of a chocolatey kind of feel than does like a graham cracker. You know what I'm saying? Am I way off base, Bill?
But from my
Level
side,
set
it's
me
not.
on-
It's
level
not
set me on
heavy.
this
No,
one.
It's not heavy.
no, not at all.
Like it's a very light of all of that. Not a very heavy caramel flavor.
It's in general, it's there's that breadiness.
Yep.
So Whether you,
It's Portuguese bread, by the way.
yeah,
Portuguese
I
sweet,
would say that's
which
closer.
is delicious, by the way. I haven't had that in a long time. It's
That's
delicious.
closer. That's a closer description, I think, than the graham cracker. But overall, it's a mild.
Yeah,
smoke.
it's a mild to medium smoke for sure. Yeah, it's not super airy on the mild side, but it's good. I would call it medium bodied, like a
Yeah.
solid medium
Yep.
body.
What about the construction? I think the
The
construction.
construction's really good.
It is.
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's acceptable. The construction is acceptable to me, Jason.
It's burning.
hear.
It's burning evenly, which
Yes.
is good enough for
It's
me.
been well cared for.
Yeah, oh, I bet. There was one about, speaking of that,
Very well cared for.
it was Catman was writing about, like, when he does a review, like, how long you put that stuff in your humidor. I think it was a
Yeah.
forum posting, and I wasn't registered for the forum. So maybe this it wasn't this story. Wait a minute. So here it is. Most reviewers don't humidor age their cigars. That's a fact.
Huh.
Then they go on to review a green sick cigar. I'd argue with the sick period.
Yep.
I'd argue that most, probably 99% of cigar, actually, I would argue close to 100% of cigars that you walk into a store, a smoke shop, humidor, right, and
Yeah.
buy at a retailer are well beyond their like scientific documented sick period,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now you can get a cigar, like if someone's rolling it from a roller, they will actually tell you when they hand it to you. They're like, you can smoke this now, but like tomorrow or the next day,
Yeah.
it's going to start that sick period. So if
Yep,
you're going to
yep.
wait a little bit, you got to wait at least a couple of weeks to get
Right,
through the
right.
sick period, right?
Yep.
And there's a very well-defined reason for all of that as you roll the cigars, right? So, like I said, you walk into a retailer, you buy a cigar, it's past this sick period. It might need more aging. I think it's what Catman is saying, right? Like it just might need more aging, and that's totally acceptable, and I give him that. So then he's like, well, if you walk into a retailer, buy a cigar, and you don't age it into a humidor, it may not be quite ready. It may need some more time to sit in your humidor. Then reviewers give it a miserable rating, or at least a passable rating, so as to not upset the cigar community. And he's spot on in that assessment. So like, don't do that. I think Jason puts it in his humidors for like a really long time,
At
and
minimum 90 days.
and that's a long time in my opinion. I gotta say like at least a week, perhaps. Although I have smoked cigars that are great coming right up.
But at the end of the day, you're not going to complain about smoking a cigar that's been in my humidor for 90 days.
no,
it's
that's true.
overly taken care of.
Yeah,
In your
agree.
opinion.
Yeah, I think a week is acceptable. I think once it lands in the retailer, if it's in their humidor for a week, it's probably good, right? Or at least a couple of days. I mean, we flirt with these lines
Yeah, yeah,
at the
yeah,
retailer.
right,
Like,
right.
but I really want to smoke it though, right? So there's that. So yeah, 90s. I mean, you got amazing patience though.
I do. I try my best.
But to your point, Jason, oftentimes we would go back, right? Mm-hmm. And so we'd smoke it off the truck and be like, that's really good. We're like, we really got to let it rest. And then we let it rest for a couple of days or a week, and we're like, dude, we're smoking them again. And we're like, this is really good. But like, and then we go back a couple months later.
Yep.
And we're like, oh, like this is what it's
Yeah.
probably supposed to
It's supposed to taste like.
Yeah. Yep. There is that. Any more thoughts over there, Mr. Joe Hozempa?
No, I'm enjoying it.
He's like, I got it.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, he better have it.
It's all right.
Overall, very tasty,
Very tasty, right?
very pleasant.
That wrapper's pretty special. We're putting off those flavors like that, though.
Yeah.
This is a well-aged wrapper.
But you wouldn't go with the Corojo wrapper?
Maybe.
Okay. Just speculating. Let's get into some articles.
Just keep tasting. Let's talk.
I see where you're going with Corojo, though.
I'm going with Corojo with either binder or, yeah, I'm going with Corojo's in there.
Because I want to say the original Corojo was grown in Cuba, right? Is that true? Someone fact check me on that. The Cuban with the Corojo kind of strain of plants, right?
Yeah.
You going with that?
I'll back you up.
Okay. And it has that Cuban-esque kind of twang on it, right? But without the cedar, which is weird. I don't get any wood note. Last month we talked about the wood note.
Right,
we were all
right,
talking
big
about
time.
like fruit wood and cedar and oak. Like I don't get any of the wood. With a Cuban cigar, it definitely has that like cedar kind of wood note to it.
So,
and I don't get that.
Fact check. Corojo, the variety was originally grown in Vuelta Abajo, Cuba.
I was right. And then it was taken to. Then there's a whole story. I mean, we can actually. It's an interesting thing to cover. We've touched on it in past shows. Then it was taken to other countries and grown, and then
it said it was taken to Kentucky.
Yeah, and then grown and curated, and strains were they had to blue mold. They had to grow. It is talk about blue mold in there. I want to say they had to change the strain of the plant, right, with like essentially botany to take out the characteristics that would lend itself to blue mold.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about blue mold.
Blue mold and black shank disease.
Yes, correct. Yeah, there was a couple of different things they had to essentially like science, right? Like change the genetics of the plant.
Cuban genetic engineers ultimately developed a hybrid.
Yes.
That would be disease resistant.
Is that Corojo 99?
It doesn't say. Hold on.
And it was the... All right, hold on. Now you're really stretching my cigar knowledge. It was the Aroa family that's famous for the Corojo. For the other genetic modifications growing Corojo. Is that right, Joe? Back me up on that.
Yeah, I back you up.
Yeah.
He's got your back.
But was that Camacho? Was Aroa...
Yeah, Christian Aroa
was Camacho.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was Camacho.
Yeah, Aroa was, yeah, they sold it off. Yeah.
They made famous.
Now he's got CLE.
Yeah,
and now
Christian
he sold it,
Camacho
and then
now he's got
did his
CLE.
own thing.
Yeah, Christian sold Camacho Davidoff. Now it's CLE and Asylum.
Right.
Which Asylum is Tom Lazuka.
Yep. So it says the last harvest of Cuban Corojo was 96, 97. 1996, 1997. Agricultural year.
A little Honduran in here, maybe?
Could be. It was Honduran Corojo. That's what Bro was famous for. We interviewed him way back when.
I don't know.
Is
You're
the meter
looking at
going
me.
up?
I'm not. I don't know.
Oh, let's go to... so this was part of a fan mail. I wanted to talk about something in here. Oh, I thought this was kind of interesting. 5 things every cigar smoker should know. Is this the one? Yeah. So, Cigar Advisor does this thing. And I totally I use these, just take topics from, right? I linked to them in the show notes. If you want to go read the original, you can go read it. So, 5 things every cigar smoker should know. So, someone wrote in to Cigar Advisor. His name was Benji, a new cigar smoker in Rhode Island.
Oh.
Benji, come pay us a
Benji,
visit,
come
man.
hang out. Come on, brother.
Come hang out, man. We got you.
Yeah.
He said, I got into smoking premium cigars over the summer. I enjoyed it a lot. What would you say are the 5 most important things cigar smokers should know? Now, I didn't watch the video to get their answer. You totally can, and you should. I'm more interested in what we think. 5 things.
Smoke slow.
I agree.
Slow.
I think we were going to talk about pacing smoking a cigar.
Yes.
I think, and I don't know if it's a separate thing, but don't ash your cigar too often.
Yes.
I often see this in new cigar smokers, and I think it's because smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? It's like a cigarette to like constantly be flicking the ash. Is anytime someone smokes a cigar, especially for the first time, they have a tendency to want to flick. In a cigar, you want to let the ash naturally kind of fall off, or at least wait. And I time it horribly almost every single time. But wait to that point just before you think it's going to fall off on its own, and that's when you ash.
Agreed.
And I get it wrong, and it goes all over me, my pants, the floor, the chair, the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm actually guilty of doing it constantly, and
Constant flicking. Don't
I think it's
stop that. Stop that.
So it's just a compulsion, I think.
Yeah.
So
I mean, to your point,
it's not even a conscious act.
Yeah. To your point, though, the aging conversation, right? I mean, they should know a little bit about grabbing the stick, aging it appropriately.
Smoke slow. Don't flick the ash too often.
Yep.
Age your cigar. Rest. Give them a resting
Give 'em a
period.
little
We call
rest.
it a resting period
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
In your humidor. You don't have to get fancy with the humidor. What are the other? I'd say
cut and light.
cut and light. Cut and light would be the other two,
Cut and
right?
light. Sure.
So cut about the thickness of a dime off your cigars, right? Is a general good rule of thumb. Obviously, that gets different when we talk about torpedoes and perfectos and all the like kind of weird kind of shape stuff. But general rule of thumb on a regular parejo, right? Dime slice off. When you light, don't torch the crap out of it.
Right.
That's I think
Right.
you see people with either the torch or even the soft flame.
Yeah.
They're just like torching the overly torching the thing, and that's just gonna
You know the
it's
other
gonna
thing
ruin
too
it.
about
No, we're at 5 things. That's it.
Oh, okay,
we're
sorry.
done.
Well, but no, but it has to do with light. But it
I
has
know.
to do with
Go
light.
ahead. All right, unlight it. I'm joking. By the
Big
way.
mistake is the traditional Zippo lighter. You know what I mean? Like that lighter fluid taste that you put into it. Like have a torch lighter.
Yeah, I mean you could
I'd
do
go,
a soft
I'd go
flame.
torch. I'd go torch lighter, match, then soft flame. I think.
Well,
I think that would be my.
The
order.
soft flames that they make for cigars are butane fueled.
Yeah.
So I think the general rule
okay.
of thumb is make sure you have a butane fueled
Butane-fueled.
lighter
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
butane burns clean. It doesn't leave an aroma in your cigar.
Yep.
Matches, they have to be wooden
100%.
matches.
Yep.
Or you can light the cedar spill. They call it
Yep,
the cedar
yep,
spill
yep.
on fire, which is, I mean, that's kind of fancy. If you're just getting into cigars,
Right, you're not-
get yourself a nice butane fueled torch lighter
lighter.
and just
you're
don't
good.
hold the torch right to your cigar. Hold it just
Yeah.
above the torch and you're good. And that's really, then you can
Yep.
get more advanced.
And then even light,
right.
nice even light.
I mean, we can do, this whole segments on how to light a cigar, right? And I think there are some guidelines, even some rules, right? I mean, we already established one rule is like don't torch the crap out of your cigar, right? I do like to toast the foot so you get a more even burn. I think that's important. Other than that, I mean, there's really not much to cutting and lighting a cigar. It is a thing you do have to learn to do it within parameters. I don't want to say there's necessarily like a right way and a wrong way, but there's some parameters and guidelines to
I mean,
follow.
I have friends who aren't big cigar smokers. They'll smoke every so often with me, and they'll literally hand it to me and be like, "Dude, cut this for me." You know what I mean? Because
because there's a thing.
Because they mutilate it when they do it
Yes.
themselves.
Nice, clean, thickness of a dime cut. Toast the foot, light your cigar, you'd be good to go. That's pretty much it. Now I'm wondering what they said in the video. They didn't actually. I wish they'd at least written the 5 things because the video is 10 minutes long. I don't know. Do we spend 10 minutes talking about that? I don't think so. Maybe a little. Maybe 8 minutes.
Yeah. You had an article here too about what happens if you smoke too fast.
Smoking too fast is bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. It gets too hot.
Right.
And starts to taste bitter.
Yeah. You know, there was a point in here. Don't smoke on an empty stomach. That's me. Like,
Yes.
I
You smoke
get
on an empty stomach a
yeah.
lot?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't. I try not to because I notice it kind of turns my stomach a little.
You
bit.
get green in the gills.
Yeah, not bad, but just enough to be like uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like just grabbing a little something before I.
So you're not yakking. You're not at that point.
No. It's just
That happens. That happens sometimes.
Yeah. No, I just noticed that I feel a lot better if I have a little something in my stomach. That's all.
I
If it's
agree.
right after I ate, or
I agree. I like having a big meal and then a cigar because then I can smoke whatever cigar I want in my humidor. I
Yeah.
can smoke the strongest cigar
and it doesn't matter.
that's in my humidor.
That's it. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. But smoking too fast is bad. I think you need to develop a pacing for it. Also, it's back to our previous point. Having that ash on your cigar actually helps it burn slower and not get too hot.
Yep.
I forget like exactly why. Some kind of physics, right? That it acts as a kind of almost like a regulator to make sure your cigar doesn't get too hot.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it does? It prevents too much air from coming into the flame because it's like fire, like an engine almost, right? Like it's combustion 101.
Right,
it's combustion. So the more air that you have, the hotter your flame is going to get. And so when you smoke too fast, you get too much of a burn. Too much tobacco's burning at once. It gets really hot. It can get harsh.
Right.
So you definitely want to slow down. Like The cigar should tell you how fast it wants to be smoked. Like there's like you got to be cognizant of how fast the cigar wants to be smoked. Starts getting too hot, you want to back off, smoke a little slower. Some cigars you can smoke a little faster without getting too hot. Sometimes I'll put my fingers.
Yes, I've done that too.
Right below the burn line.
We hold it like that.
And so, like this cigar right here, right?
Yep.
Like I'm holding it.
It's burning cool. Like it's
and my fingers are not burning.
Yep, exactly.
If your finger, I mean, it's starting to get a little hot now, but I've been holding it for 10, 15 seconds, right?
Yep.
You should be able to hold your cigar like this. If you put your fingers below that burn line and you're like, "Holy shit, that was hot!"
Smoking it too
you're
fast.
smoking it too fast.
That's it.
Yep. That's some good advice for you. That's some good Stogie Geeks advice right there.
That's some good advice.
But also, some of that is the construction of the cigar as well.
Sure.
Sometimes, even if you're smoking it slow, it's just burning hot,
fast,
and that's the kind of tobacco. That's the construction and the composition of the cigar. Just might have been off. So, this is a really. I'm still getting some good caramel sweet.
I'm so glad. 2 successful Stogie Geek shows where they've been blind test. I like it. I brought an article. Did you see the one? Because we talked about it on the last show about Michael Jordan's budget for cigars. Well, I found
900,000 was it?
it was somewhere.
Oh,
in
yeah,
that.
we
It was
did,
somewhere
yeah.
around there, right? So he's selling his mansion, and they did an article about what's in the mansion, and he turned his basement gym into a multi-million-dollar cigar bar.
What?
Cigar lounge. Yes. It's a $14.9 million mansion, and the cigar lounge that he built in there is worth millions.
Is that because of the construction?
He put air purifiers
Yep.
in there, ductwork in there, like high-end lounge type furniture.
And a walk-in humidor. I would
Walk-in
assume.
humidor, all set up, worth millions. Can you imagine?
So he built like what a retailer would build
Yeah,
in his
exactly.
house.
Exactly.
He built his own cigar lounge in his house.
He built a cigar lounge in his house.
For the man who has it all.
That's it. It's it. So it's his property in Chicago's Highland Park, and it's selling for $14.9 million. So if any of the Stogie Geeks out there have some extra cash laying around, they can go buy that and have a nice cigar lounge in the gym,
Right.
And where the gym used to be.
I like that he converted the gym
Think
into
about
a
that,
cigar
Michael
lounge.
Jordan, right? World champion basketball player.
Nothing says retirement.
The
like,
goat, the
turning
goat takes
Yeah.
his gym and makes a cigar bar out of it.
So does the house not have a gym anymore? I'm
Probably
confused.
not.
You buy a $14 million
Probably
mansion,
not.
you'd expect it to have a gym. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
not a cigar lounge.
Yeah.
You'd expect it to have a bar, right? You wouldn't necessarily expect it to have a cigar lounge, but you'd also expect it to have a gym.
Yep.
I mean, if you look at $1 million homes, they typically have a gym,
Yeah,
not usually
right.
a cigar, and they
Right.
usually have a bar.
So the entire mansion is 56,000 square feet.
Holy
So
shit!
so
That's
maybe he
nuts.
built the gym somewhere else. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. You certainly have the square footage
Yeah.
to have a gym.
No doubt about it. So, but I figured that was a good article to pair with the last month's Stogie Geeks.
Oh, and
About his budget.
Speaking of pairing, shit, we should have brought some candy in here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because candy and cigars.
It's Halloween, baby.
It's awesome. You know, I was talking to one of my friends, and she started working at Trader Joe's. She's like, I like talking to people, and she's like, Trader Joe's is kind of a really cool, eclectic kind of market, and they
Yeah.
got like cool stuff in there. I said, yes, and one of the cool things that I like there is their chocolate-covered nuts and fruit.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
have chocolate-covered cherries.
Love it.
Chocolate-covered almonds. And the nice part about when you buy that stuff at Trader Joe's, it's not overly expensive.
Right.
I mean, I don't have a $14 million mansion, and I guess
Right.
your budget for chocolate-covered nuts and fruit would probably be a lot more than what my budget is, right? But that, like, the chocolate-covered fruit and nuts can be really expensive.
Sure.
Like, you go online or you go into a specialty store, that's not, like, for, like, a small little box,
Yeah,
it could be like
Jordan
$30.
has his own like snack bar in there.
Oh, I
right?
bet,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah. So, but you go to Trader Joe's, and it's reasonably priced.
Mm-hmm.
And when you enjoy those and eat them while you're smoking a cigar,
Mm-hmm.
those like wine, a nice red wine,
Yeah.
right, with chocolate covered cherries or almonds or any of them really.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate ones are great. You've got
love
like a little
dark
more
chocolate.
bitter, right? With a cigar, it's just like a whole pairing experience.
Yeah.
Mate, you know what? Next month we're gonna have to
We're gonna
do
bring chocolate covered
chocolate
stuff.
covered stuff with a nice bottle
yeah.
of red wine,
Yep.
and then afterwards we're all gonna take a nap.
They'll like put you in a coma. You're like, it's so good. You know what red wine
I do love chocolate.
I've really been digging? Camus Vineyards.
Camus Vineyards. All right.
So I found out about this one. Someone sent to me as a gift. Actually, a person we all know, Doug.
Yep.
Sent
Just
different
saw him
Doug.
a little while ago.
Not that Doug.
Oh,
different
Doug. Oh.
Sent it as a gift. It was like, this is my favorite wine, right? So I exchanged with him. I sent him a bottle of my favorite Scotch, right? So you share your favorites with each other, right? And so I break it open. I'm like, this is some of the best cab I think I've ever had. This is absolutely delicious. It goes for about $100 a bottle. And I was at, where was I? Chapel Grill. And they said any bottle of wine over $50 is 50% off.
Really?
I think it was something pretty close to that.
Wow.
Over $50, 50% off. And so like their Camus was $200 a bottle when you buy it at the restaurant. But I got it, so that's what it was. I got it for $100, which is what you pay walking into the store, right?
Yeah.
So I got it for retail. And it's awesome. Have you had that one, Joe?
What was the name of it?
Camus.
Camus Vineyards?
No.
Gotta
No.
try it.
My red wine is a Molly Duca Carnival of Love Shiraz 2018.
What's that go for a bottle?
88.57.
Okay. It's in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
So you're gonna spend 88 in a bottle, and you're gonna spend 100.
Yeah.
I can't drink that every. I'm not a weekly or daily going through a $100 bottle of wine. But
I can't even remember the last time I drank a glass of wine.
Glass of wine with red
even
wine with
remember.
a cigar.
With a cigar.
is
Yeah.
amazing. Red wine with a cigar with chocolate covered raisins. is
raw
super,
chocolate raisins.
is super amazing. Like super amazing.
Right.
Because the raisins are that thick and gooey.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Someone poured Jason a bottle of wine right now.
Right.
There's a bottle over there.
as opposed to
a
like if
Zinfandel,
you do
but-
the peanuts, chocolate covered peanuts.
Yeah.
Because peanuts, the way they break up in your mouth, can
Right,
get
right.
like
Were you with us about 7 minutes ago? Or 5 minutes ago when we were talking about
He was
this?
just enjoying his cigar.
I
you
was
tuning
just
us- you were
I'm-
tuning us
I
out,
was
weren't
just
you?
typing in my cigar notes. That's all. I was just quietly typing in.
You
Quietly
better be right, dude.
typing
You better
in my
be right.
cigar notes. That's all.
I'm not putting any pressure.
Do
on
we
you.
have a second one? Because I'm running out.
Well, no, I don't have.
If
a
not,
second
I gotta
one.
raid someone's humidor
Yeah.
because
Well, I got some extras.
because my bag's in the
You know what? I didn't bring.
I have some
didn't-
other stuff here.
cool. If you want to pass
I
one
don't.
over.
I think. Oh wait, no. There's something in here. I got some stuff in here.
Yeah, I got some stuff in here
Some
too.
Tatawahe. I got an LFD.
I brought.
LFD Oro. An LFD Oro. This is just what kicks around that, like what Paul forgot about in here.
Oh yeah,
Espinosa. Espinosa.
that's good.
That's a good cigar.
Great stuff.
Good one.
Oh, and I haven't had one of these yet, so I brought this for me. You can't steal this. Carnitas.
Oh yeah. Canitas is good.
Have you had this one?
I live on.
I'm sure you do.
Canitas.
I've got this one, but you can't have
You
it.
can't have this one. I haven't had it yet.
I've probably had.
I'll give you Espinosa, but you're not
I've
having.
probably had 4 this week. Like 4
Have
this
you?
week. Oh yeah.
Wow,
I'm all over Canitas.
nice. I like it.
So, like Reese's Pieces, also.
I
awesome.
love chocolate and peanut butter, by the way.
Yes.
Like gift from
Reese's,
God.
Reese's
will-
Pieces.
I absolutely love chocolate and peanut butter. Absolutely love
My wife the other day, she bought the Halloween candy,
it. Yep.
and she was trying to be sneaky and put it away. And she looked at me. She's got this whole big thing of candy bars and stuff, and she's like, "Shh, don't tell anyone." I'm like, "Can you throw me a Reese's?" My kids hear it, and they're like, "I want a Reese's."
Well,
If
me
Dad's
too.
having a
Yeah,
Reese's,
right,
I'm having
right.
a Reese's. And my
Yeah.
both my sons are
And
like,
then it's
just,
done.
my oldest comes from downstairs, like, "You guys having Reese's? Like, we need Reese's." My wife's
Yeah.
like,
the kids
"What
are like, I smell candy.
She's like, "I'm gonna kill you right now." So we all ate Reese's.
I
I'm like, "What?"
absolutely
I'm like, "Just
love
have
chocolate
one."
and peanut
Like, it's
butter.
come on, it's candy. It's
Yeah.
a treat.
So
10
speaking
minutes.
of Halloween and candy, did you see the article that J.C. Newman is doing haunted cigar factory tours?
Yeah, they started that last year.
Did
Yep,
they?
Yep.
Oh my God, that is like awesome.
Yeah, and if you go on the JC Newman's YouTube,
Yeah.
they have interviews with previous employees.
Get outta here.
And ghost stories.
Get
too.
outta
Yeah,
here.
there's like 4 or 5 of them.
So
But yeah.
that makes me want to go down to Central Florida for Halloween time because then you can go to what is that?
Ybor City?
Universal Studios is that Halloween horror, like time of year.
Yeah.
Halloween Fright Night or whatever they call it. Like that would be a whole family thing around. Then I could go do the haunted J.C. Newman factory.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be awesome.
And the one
so
they're
cool.
building across the street, they're building a hotel across the street. It was a vacant building. They actually had to remove like 10,000 bats
Really?
from this haunted thing, but like an old fashioned like B&B
Yeah.
of what it was. Like, yeah, I'm sure there's some activity in
That's
there.
super cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Like next year now I want to go to Florida for freaking Halloween time.
Yeah, you can extend the summer. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
And then the other one, what did I have?
Wow, the flavors are amazing. I just got
glad
like
you
maybe
like it.
a little more than
glad you
halfway in.
Yeah, it
I'm
kicks
getting
in.
something different. What is that in the middle?
Corojo and Honduran.
You said it, bro. This is smoking like a.
It's smoking like a Corojo.
Yeah. No, it is.
It's gotta be Corojo. Like,
Oh, Aroa had. It was this cigar that he had. Is it one of the ones that he rebanded or something like that? There was an Aroa cigar that came in 5-packs. That this is very similar to that.
well, you could be pretty close because it could be his brother's company.
Because I want to say he had one that he repackaged.
He's turning red. I think I nailed it.
Did he have one that he repackaged?
Anything.
What?
Was it? It was like an Aroa special cigar, and it came in 5-packs. I bought them at Joyle's, but I think they were
Did
closing
they have a
them
sleeve
out.
on them? Like a sleeve on the no? Okay,
No,
so
it
it
just
wouldn't be
came
like
in it just came in a 5. It did come in a 5-pack.
because
And it
the
was very
CLE
similar in
Corojo
size.
is a really spot on cigar. The CLE
Yeah.
Corojo, it's a red label.
He did some stuff where he was
Okay.
repackaging
Okay.
cigars. I can't remember what those were, but this one smokes kind of similar. Although that one had a darker wrapper, I want to say. But it was similar flavor profile.
Yeah, it's tasty.
I'm glad you like it.
It's tasty.
Yeah,
So
but
the
it's a
other
much-
article I had.
It's a much
about-
richer flavor at this point in the cigar. Like it's not graham cracker, animal cracker.
No, not anymore. Not
It
anymore.
gets in the middle, and I can't pinpoint it. Anyway,
It got a lot drier for me, and it got like nuttier, almost like a more nuttier than sweet taste. Not as much pepper as I had in the after maybe the first third. I got a little bit of that pepper on the lip type.
there is a little bit
Yeah,
of
the
pepper.
second half you
See,
got
I'm
pepper
getting
on
more.
the lip.
I'm getting more of that now.
Oh yeah,
Pepper,
maybe my lips just got accustomed to it.
but there still is like a sweetness. I can't put my finger. It still maintains a sweetness, but the profile changed. It's really good.
So I had another one about a factory in Florida as well. A former Arturo Fuentes cigar company factory is for sale, and they want $279,000 for it, I believe. 7,000 square foot. No, they want $799. I'm sorry, $799. But the Blancos bought it after the Fuentes, so the Blancos own it now. They're selling it, but they were telling stories about, like, as kids, Carlito remembering the grandfather working out of this factory, and they built like a whole house upstairs so the family could live out of it. Aunts and uncles would stay there for weeks at a time. The kids would stay there for weeks at a time, and then the first floor was like the factory floor where they made all the cigars. So that's some history right there, man.
Well, that's how you one up Michael Jordan. You'd be like, hey, you got a line? I got a factory,
yeah, right,
and it cost me less than $1 million. So there.
right. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool to see some of that cigar history, going up for sale, and we'll see who buys it. But yeah, they want $799 for it.
I want to just go back to Halloween for a moment
Yeah.
and talk about top cigars to smoke on Halloween. And I think I swear they just pick like random stuff. Like they just come up with a topic,
Sure.
and then they just pick random cigars to
Oh, the
talk
Drac
about.
by the Dwyer.
Yeah. I think you should smoke a Tatuaje Monster Series.
I have Jason's and Frank's right now.
I have the face.
Do you?
And I've got a few, like they should probably be smoked. 'cause
Do
I don't
you
think
know
they're
what you
gonna get
gave me
better.
that I haven't smoking yet? You gave me the original Monster Series cigar a while ago. It was like the OG Monster.
Yeah.
White band, white and green band.
Oh, that was after the face. The face is older than the
Oh,
one
is
I
it?
gave you.
Okay.
I gave you an older Monster
It was
Series.
old, though.
Yeah, it was old. I forget which one it was, but I have the face,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And I think I did smoke one. And they're like, if you wait any longer,
Yeah.
they're not going to be great.
Yeah.
So we should smoke them.
Okay. You know I'm always game.
But my whole thing is, if this is the top cigars to smoke on Halloween, right? Like this is just random cigars,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
we can actually talk about what cigars you smoke on Halloween, and I think there's a few scenarios we can go through, right? Maybe on Halloween, like your kids are all grown and they're out of the house, and you're going to a Halloween party, right? And you can probably step outside
Yep.
and maybe have a cigar. Now, one of the things you need to take into consideration is whatever costume you're wearing has to be cigar smoking friendly.
Absolutely.
If you're wearing a mask, you're not going to have a cigar
no.
while you're hell no.
Hell no.
Make your costume like neck down.
Yes.
Maybe a hat, right?
Maybe paint the face.
Maybe paint, right?
So, cigar smoking Michael Myers isn't.
No.
No,
cut
no,
it.
Or
it's not.
Jason. You
No,
don't
it's
wanna
not
wear a
good.
Jason
Not
mask.
good. Not good. Unless you wear them like on the back of your head,
Right.
because you need to
Reverse
be
it.
you need to be accessible. Believe me, I've thought about this. The other thing is maybe, you're not going to a party, but you want to pass out candy, because passing out candy is pretty fun.
Sure.
And like putting up spooky decorations and passing out candy to the kids, and maybe you dress up for that, because that's still fun too. Like I love Halloween. I'm a huge fan of Halloween. So like all these scenarios are like equally as fun to me.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know, walking around with your kids. Well, maybe not so. Because kids are a pain in the ass sometimes.
Totally.
It gets better once they get a little older. There's a sweet spot, I think. But so let's say you're staying home, giving out candy. You're going to sit on your front porch and maybe have a cigar.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you're not going to want to sit there with a cigar and blow smoke in all the kids' and parents' faces, right? Maybe you got a front porch. You're off to the side smoking. You set the cigar down. You go pass out your candy. You go back to smoking your cigar. So keep that in mind. Maybe that. So this is where I get into the practicality of Halloween cigar smoking. See, I should write this article, right? So if you're at the party, think about your costume, but you don't want to be outside forever. So you're going to want a smaller cigar. You're going to want a petite Corona kind of cigar that you go out there and you smoke so you can get back to your party, right? And you're going to drag a few of the guests with you. So make sure you choose something that's pretty accessible for everyone to smoke. Because if we're all at a party, well, you guys are a bad example because you're all cigar smokers. But you're your friend, you're like, hey, we'll go outside and have a cigar. Like, come on, like 45 minutes an hour, let's just go outside, let's have a cigar, right? So you bring small cigars, light cigars. I like the AJ Fernandez. What's the AJ Fernandez? New World.
New World, yep.
New World's good. And the Corona size, good for that. It's kind of light. No one's going to, to your point, like no one's going to be sick kind of thing.
Yep.
So there's lots of cigars in that. Robusto size, right?
Yeah.
Lighter Robusto size would go on forever. So that's what I think is your Halloween party, right? The other thing is you could choose a costume that is someone who's known to be smoking cigars.
True.
Wolverine, right?
Wolverine.
If you're dressed as
You can
Wolverine,
be Joe Zeppa for Halloween.
That's right.
Or Paul Asadorian.
No, but like if you're dressed as Wolverine and you're sitting on your front porch, they expect that you would have a cigar. So it's in costume, you're in character.
Yeah.
It's totally
Yeah.
cool.
Genius
so there's
move.
that, right?
Milton Berle dresses Milton Berle. He was
George
big on
Burns,
this guy.
right? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hannibal from the A-Team, boys.
forget-
Come on.
Hannibal from the A-Team,
Come on.
man. Like,
That's
come
where
on.
I'd go.
You got a lot of options for like iconic cigar smoking figures from history, right?
So, I read a book recently. I don't know why I read this. It was a memoir from Christopher Lawford. So he's Peter Lawford's son, part of the whole Kennedy clan.
yeah.
And he's telling childhood stories about how Milton Berle was always around at their events, and how when he got to the end of the cigar, he would put a toothpick on there and keep going. And the young Chris Lawford asks him, why are you doing that? And he says, well, this is the best part. This is where all the juice is.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So now, but if you're going to go out and you're going to go trick or treating with your kids, right?
Yeah.
Now you also got to take, this is the hard one, man. You got to take into account your costume.
Yeah.
You got to take into account, you might be holding other things like drinks, your kid's candy bag. You want to have a wagon with you
listen, guys,
so you can put
if
stuff
I'm bringing
down.
a cigar while I'm walking around with my kids, I'm outsourcing all the carrying stuff. Just tell
So
me.
yeah, you got to have
Somebody else is carrying shit for me
Oh,
because
you
I'm
gotta have a
smoking my
cart.
cigar.
You gotta have a cart.
Wagon,
because
beach wagon.
A wagon.
But
yeah,
here's
yeah.
the thing.
We have a wagon that
You're
we
gonna
we
have
travel around.
you're gonna
Yeah,
have
no
a
doubt,
drink
no
in
doubt.
one hand and a cigar in the other
Hell yeah.
hand. You're
And
gonna bring extra cigars to hand out. You're gonna bring extra
Yep.
drinks to hand out. Right? Like it's a whole thing. So you gotta want to have a wagon or a cart to drag along.
Yeah.
With you. Also, kids get tired, especially when they're younger. They can ride along in the cart with
In
your
the
beer,
wagon.
and
In
then
the
it's great because
wagon.
then you can be like, "Hey, kid, can you hand me a beer?"
That's right.
Thanks.
100%. Yeah. Right. Can you open up my travel humidor and hand me?
But also, like, you're gonna have a lot going on. Like, your kid's gonna be holding it. You got a
Tons.
flashlight with you, so you get like,
Headlamp.
yeah.
Bring a
Try
headlamp.
holding a flashlight, a beer,
flashlights.
and a cigar, and your kid's candy bag all in one fell swoop. You gotta
Ain't
plan
happening.
for this
Ain't
outing,
happening.
man.
Ain't
It takes planning to get this right.
100%.
And your cigar may not be the focus during this adventure. So don't be smoking like you're super aged or
Yeah,
like Padron
truth,
Millennium
truth,
Edition
yeah.
or that one Cohiba Bahique you've been
right.
saving.
Bring
for
a
the-
walkabout cigar.
You need a walkabout cigar.
I actually just got some cool, because you guys know I belong to Bravado Cigar Club. Cavalier put out one called the Full Moon, and I got this in a 3-pack. J.C. Newman put out the Black Cat, which is cool. That was aged 3 years. And then Aganorsa Leaf put out one called The Witch. I haven't tried them yet. I just got them in.
Also,
So we'll
you
see.
want something that's going to burn really well.
Yeah.
Because, again, you've got cigar in one hand, drink in the other hand, flashlights, candy bag, the whole thing. Now you got to think about, now I need both hands because I got to relight my cigar.
Right.
And while you're standing there relighting your cigar, your kids are walking up to the next house and you're trying to keep up. You want something that burns really well. You want a Padron number 9, something along those lines. That's just going to have an awesome burn throughout without too much fuss.
Yep. One of these.
Padron number 9. Padron number 9 is probably my.
It is.
Is
Yeah.
my
That's
because
a great.
that's
cigar.
the one I like to have at like
That's a great cigar.
cookouts, barbecues, when you're standing around outside.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
you don't wanna be
what's the
sitting there-
shorter version of it? Is it that number 6? It's literally
no,
a Padron
you
number
don't.
9, but it's the shorter Vitola. I like those too. I have a bunch of those too. I can't remember. It might be a number 6, something like that.
We could look it up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Same idea though.
You can go look up the Padron 1926 series. Pretty well documented.
Yep.
But number 9 is my favorite.
Yep.
I've been smoking a lot of the 1964 in
Yep.
the Maduro wrapper, the Pyramid.
Okay.
I had one of those this morning and the other day, Wednesday, when I was here in studio as well. That thing is awesome. That is an amazing cigar. It's a really big cigar, but it's not too strong. It burns really well, and its flavor is amazing.
Yeah.
I had a box kicking around, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I bought a box of those. I'm going to have to start smoking these now.
Yeah.
They've just been
Yeah.
awesome.
So what you're saying is you're not going to bring the Davidoff Year of the Rabbit with you while you're walking around.
No. Especially first
At
time I smoke
$50
it.
a stick.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, because the other thing is, especially when you're walking around, you may drop your cigar. Like it happens. And so when you're walking around, it's a great point, Jason. You don't want anything too expensive. So number 9 is kind of pricey, right?
It's not $50 a stick.
It's not $50 a stick.
Right.
You might drop it. So
Yep.
take that into account when you're choosing your cigar for
100%.
Halloween, if you're doing the walking around with kids kind of thing.
Yeah.
And actually, to be quite honest, walking around with kids Halloween, lately I just don't even bother having a cigar. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not even worth it. There's too much going on
Yep.
for all the reasons I mentioned. I'll skip it. Right? I'll skip it.
Right. So you going to buy any of these Year of the Rabbit?
I usually try and buy at least one.
Do you? Yeah.
Of the Davidoff special releases. I do have to say though, in recent years, I've been a little disappointed. You spend that $30 to $50 for a cigar, and I haven't been overly impressed.
Yeah.
But you're like, maybe this is my year. Maybe the Year of the Rabbit is my year. Well, I'll really like it. But then the problem is, I want to go buy a box, and then your box at a 10-count box is $500.
I want every year to be the year
The
of
box
the
is
rabbit
really
in my
cool
world.
though. I know, right? Is that a euphemism for something, Jason?
Might be.
Where's my Year of the Rabbit store? The box is super cool.
It is cool.
There it is. Yeah, it's like
one of the coolest boxes. Like, it's the inside the box is a work of art. Usually the art is more on the outside, maybe on the inside top cover. You know what I'm saying, Joe?
Mhm.
This, when you look in the way they're laid out and the box is molded, but they're all not symmetrical. Like, I just thought the inside of the box was really
Super cool.
really cool.
Yeah. The presentation is spot on.
Right, but all that absolutely does not matter at all when it comes to whether or not you're going to enjoy the cigar.
Right.
And then, because that was my whole thing with putting in the story of the a couple stories here, like Arturo Fuente Rare Pink. They had one called the Sophisticated Hooker. Is that true? I couldn't. This is the one I think I had to register for a. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, that was the thing. So, but the other one was the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Was a box. And but this something different? I thought it was years of development, average technology. Call of Duty Modern the game is due for release. Call of Duty veterans unite for a game. Following this celebratory smoke movement, it was a hit with fans. And so AJ Fernandez has a 14 count exclusive sampler. Yeah. But so the thing is, though, and that's from JR Cigars. So, but like the thing is, all of that packaging, all of the theme around it, like I saw the other one was Blackwork Studio Killer Bee Shaolin.
Yeah.
This has got like the barber pole wrapper, and it's when I saw Killer Bee and Shaolin in the same thing.
Yeah, you go Wu-Tang.
We go Wu-Tang, right?
Wu-Tang all day.
Wu-Tang all day long. Killer Bees on a swarm, like a Candela foot. And all that's great, right? Like, it's great marketing.
Sure.
But like, is it a good cigar or not?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're wearing the Drew Estates hat today, Joe. And did you see what they just came out with? They have their reclaimed sampler. And it's all in cigar molds. Like, literally, they're packaging it in an old cigar mold from Drew Estate, which is really cool. It's just I haven't had some of these cigars, and I don't know if they're quality. Like the Alec Bradley Black Market and the Max. I haven't had those. I don't know if they're any good.
Black Market's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, regardless of what box it comes in, regardless of what packaging it comes in, regardless of the bands, the cedar, you're going to take all that stuff off,
right.
and you're literally going to light it on fire.
Right.
So, to me, the experience is all about how does it smoke? How does it taste? What's my overall experience with the cigar? And you got to put all that stuff to the side. Yeah. Like, at that point, once you light the cigar, it doesn't matter the box it came in. Doesn't matter how it was packaged.
In point. This is the case in point right here. You guys got a cigar unbanded, unpackaged, not in any type of packaging or box or anything.
So I don't know.
And it seems like you guys are enjoying the stick.
I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan. If I was smoking the Killer Bee cigar, I'd be like, I should like this. Like, I don't want to give it a bad review because, like, I should like this, right? That's what I love about the unbanded is all of those preconceived notions is essentially what we're talking about. Preconceived notions are out the window. I'm evaluating the cigar, not the marketing, the packaging, the name, the whole thing.
100%.
Now, it'd be really hard, though, to do a blind tasting of the Killer Bee cigar because it has a very unique barber pole wrapper with a Candela wrapped foot.
You want to know what, though? There were cigars that I was looking at bringing, and I'm like, they're going to know just by me handing it to you. Like, I knew it right out of the gate. As soon as I hand it to you, you guys are going to be like, I know what cigar this is.
Wow, that last third. That's pretty tasty. No, Joe?
Yummy, yummy.
If this is what I think it is, it's going to make me go back to the brand. Like, because I could be guilty as charged if I get this right, but I've overlooked the brand. I've only smoked one line from this brand, and it wasn't the line.
Okay.
So smoking it blind, if this comes out, it's changed my
opinion of it,
entire perception of when you smoke something blind versus the label. If it's what I think it is, if that makes sense. Because I was like, yeah, I like that series, but this is the best one in that series, and I've always overlooked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then if this is what I really think it is, then I'm gonna be like, holy crap, I'm going to go get more because I've clearly missed something. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
But
this is what it makes me happy to do this. Like, I'm
which
glad
is
I-
amazing. Which,
I
We
love
have so
this.
much fun. This is
yeah,
like
I love
which is
this.
amazing because if it really is what it is, I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, I've really
this
done a
last
bad job.
I
It
want
is
to
really good.
I want to talk about the final third though,
It is
because
good.
like
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint the
tasty.
flavors, but it's tasty. Jason's right.
It is
I mean,
tasty.
I'm smoking this thing down to the nub.
Yep.
And retro, you still get that white pepper. But what
Yep.
what I thought was super cool was it wasn't dry in the first third.
It's dry
but-
now.
But the second third it kicked in.
Yep.
And then the
Yep.
last third it really kicked in with that dryness. And then the sweetness is trying to come
Do you get any
through.
citrus, like little tiny hints
Yeah,
of citrus sweet?
it's the sweetness citrus is
Yeah,
trying to come through, which is telling me that there's Corojo in there. And Honduran. So it's got to be.
But I don't get the earthiness that is typical of.
I get a little bit of
Honduran.
everything.
I get a little bit of earthiness.
get
I
earthiness.
did put a little bit of earthiness in the
yep,
notes.
yep.
A little bit. It's like what's fascinating about this cigar is if it's available in a bigger
Vitola.
Vitola, thank you. You'd be missing the nuances,
Probably.
for sure.
Probably. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, no, I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. I think it's Honduran and Nicaraguan filler.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't begin to get the binder is hard because it's a smaller Vitola. It's hard to pinpoint the binder because you just got less tobacco to work with. And I think I'll go with Joe and say it's Corojo on the wrapper.
yeah.
It has that Aroa. I've smoked.
you have-
when you say Aroa, I've smoked Aroa cigars that are definitely in this profile, which leads me to that profile, which then leads me to think what could be in the cigar.
Can you
I
have
thought-
a Corojo binder? Yes.
You could absolutely.
But you wouldn't go Corojo binder, Corojo wrapper.
I was, I'm still impressed with ourselves for guessing the Mexican binder last month, dude. I don't know how we pulled that off. How did we
impressed
pull
today.
that off? I don't know. But somehow Joe and
I
I
love it.
reverse
I love it.
engineered the cigar by flavor and came
I
up
love
with
it.
Yeah.
You guys did
That's
great.
not going to happen every time.
You guys did awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm pretty.
Do you guys got final answers? Because I'm almost done. I'd love to.
That's
love to
my
give it
final
to-
answer. So I'm Honduran, Nicaraguan filler. Binder to me is unknown. If Joe says Corojo, I would go with that because I don't taste anything that would allow me to pinpoint the binder. And if we're going, Joe and I believe it's this Aroa kind of feel to it. Mm-hmm. That's a Corojo wrapper.
Are you going Aroa,
Joe.
Joe?
I'm going.
Well, hold on. First, start Joe
Yeah,
with
start
your
with your breakdown.
filler binder wrapper. What's your guess?
Binder Corojo.
Okay.
Okay. Wrapper wrapper is a wrapper would be Corojo as well.
Like a
And-
Honduran Corojo from
Yeah,
which
well,
region?
well, I do have Honduras in there. So, because I was going to ask you separate, like, can you do a Honduran Corojo wrapper?
How often did they water the plants?
Yes, you can.
Was
Okay.
it 3
Okay.
times a day they watered the plants, Joe, or was it 3.5?
I don't know. But, so I'm going with Honduran Corojo wrapper, binder Corojo, filler Esteli, Nicaragua,
Ooh, wow, specific.
right? And Honduras, Honduran filler as well.
Tell me the brand you were thinking.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
I was thinking it was the at first my final answer. I'm going with the Alandino Corojo, the Alandino Corona.
And Alandino that's Christian's brother.
Yep, Christian's brother. So the Alandino Corona is my final answer. My first answer
Yeah.
was I'm gonna butcher the name, but then again, I've been doing that since 2017 on this show.
Well,
It
there's
was
that.
the Southern Draw Peccadillos, which was from their sampler pack, the Peccadillos. But as from the first half of from the first
Yeah.
third of that,
Yeah.
as soon as I got there,
Yeah, the
I threw it
profile
out the
changed.
window.
Yeah, the profile changed.
I threw it right out the window because the profile did change. So my final answer is the Alandino Corona.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. From the makeup of the cigars, you guys were pretty close to on point. It's
Can I have a stick?
It's a Honduran Puro. It's a Honduran Puro.
There you go.
Just so you know, 100% Honduran Puro.
Wow.
It's a murder hornet.
What the?
Room 101 Murder Hornet.
Wait, is that from the Warped Factory?
No, this was his release with LCA. Room 101 Murder Hornet.
Okay.
That's what this is.
Okay.
It's been aged in my humidor probably close to a year and a half now.
Okay. So what's the profile though?
So
Because guessing the name is super tough.
yeah.
but-
But so the only thing that they put out was this is a 100% Honduran Puro wrapper filler binder. They didn't say if it was a Corojo Honduran, none of that, but it's 100%.
It's made at Racy's Cubanas factory in Don Lee, Honduras.
But 100% Honduran. I wanted to go Puro on this one. And I went out searching for Puro cigars.
So there is no Nicaragua in there.
No, none.
So where's that white pepper come? Like you get white pepper on that retro.
I'm getting it right now, right at the end.
Yeah, you get that white pepper. That's
Yep.
why it's like
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that's
Yep.
classic.
Yeah.
You know.
When these first came out, people were hunting these. Like, these were a big cigar when they first were released, and I've had them in my humidor for a year, probably close to a year and a half. I want to say
this
like
was,
August time frame.
What's
21.
LCA?
That's Limited Cigar Association. They do collabs with all different.
And you got this Pravada Cigar Club?
I don't know if I bought it from them specifically, but they were released through them. Yeah,
I gotcha.
I probably got it through another.
So it's
Or
in
maybe even
These
from
go
them.
for $9.50, and
Yeah,
you
not
can
bad.
only buy a single. Can't buy a box.
I thought I bought a 5-pack. Maybe I bought 5 singles back in the day.
Yeah.
Or 10 singles back in the day.
So it's a Murder Hornet.
Yep.
And it's a Honduran.
Honduran Puro.
Wow.
So you were right. We wouldn't be able to see if Joe and I collaborate.
Yep.
We increase our chances by like 85%.
Oh
if
yeah,
Joe
no,
and
I noticed
collaborate.
that. I noticed that.
So I was like, wow, that's interesting. And if I take cues from Joe, I'm like, nope, we back each other up.
Yep,
I'm like,
yep.
Yeah, this is Corojo, Honduran.
You guys were dead on with the Honduran boys.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
But that
it's-
pepper, I thought there was some Nicaraguan in it. Yeah.
The pepper threw me off. Totally. Now the reason why I said why I would get excited because if it was the Alandino Corona, I like only the Alandino Corojo Reserve from Alandino.
Gotcha.
The other stuff I've had, and I'm like, yeah, it's good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I'm always like going towards that.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, if that was that, wow, did I really miss out on the whole skew of cigars there? But yeah, so
You guys were dead on with Honduran, man.
wow.
Really good, really good. I wanted to switch it up. I wanted to go opposite. I went opposite Vitola.
Yeah.
For
I went Puro. I went Puro. Like I wanted to go opposite of what we did last time.
For a Puro, you
Amazing.
get a lot of transition in that little stick.
Yes, you do. It's
Like
a very
noticeable
distinct
transition.
transition. It's a great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Wow.
And only $9.50 a whack. Not too bad.
Wow.
Not
No.
super bad.
I wish you could just go easily buy a box, but
Go buy 10.
right,
Go buy 10 of them. They're good.
they are really good.
They're good cigars, man.
Which, by the way, would make a great Halloween stick if you're gonna smoke one because it's a
Sure.
quick hour stick.
Yeah.
Yep.
40 minutes. You
Yep,
know, if you're
yep,
outside,
yep.
etc. And yeah, it's a great stick. Super tasty.
Well, I'm glad you boys enjoyed it.
It was
And you're surprised at the brand.
Yeah, totally surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I like it. Well, good job.
Yeah,
Good job.
Matt's had some really good releases
Yeah.
in those kind of sizes. I've
Yeah.
talked about him on the show in the
Yep,
past.
Yep.
He's done some great stuff there. Anything else we wanted to talk about? Talked about Halloween smoking too fast. We went through fan mail.
Yep. Oh, let's see.
I'm sure Jason wants to talk about Metallica's James Hetfield.
I'm the one who brought that up. I thought that was a kind of cool collab. You know what brought me in is so many people love cigars, and you don't even realize that they're cigar fans, right? So, like we brought up Jordan last time, and this was another like famous person that I'm like, holy. I read the article, I'm like, holy shit, James Hetfield likes cigars, and he's collabing with Drew Estates to make a new cigar. I thought it's just cool. I like seeing that new business, and I like seeing innovation come out of it. And if they can collab, and I think they called it the M81. And if something cool comes out of it, I like it. They spent 2 years building the cigar.
Yeah. I have a similar story.
think
If
it's
you
really
if
cool.
you give me a minute.
Yeah.
I was at a Seven Dust concert at the old
All right.
Lupos.
All right.
And
Lupos, look
I
at
was,
you.
and I
Wow.
was smoking a cigar because you could smoke inside.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I always talk about the glory.
And just for the
days.
fans who are listening, Lupo's was like dive bar club.
Yep.
like,
90s
Yeah.
dive bar
90s
club.
dive bar club with
And
bands that
Seven
come and
Dust
play.
is a national
Yeah.
band, right?
Yep,
People
yep,
heard
yep.
of them, right?
Yep.
There. And the bouncer taps me on the shoulder. This is a true story. Bouncer taps me on the shoulder and he goes, "Hey, do you have any more cigars on you?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "The drummer wants one." Morgan,
No
right?
shit.
And he goes, "Come with us." Now they opened up, and I guess they were looking at the crowd.
Yeah.
And I guess the bouncer came. We got backstage, smoked cigars.
Get
with
outta
them.
here.
BS you not. I am.
That's
I
awesome.
am
That's
absolutely
cool.
positive.
That's cool.
Smoked backstage.
Yep.
Smoked cigars with them, chilling. Was on stage, chilling with them at the old Lupo's. Now the old Lupo's allowed you logistically for that because it's not an
It was,
arena.
it
Yeah.
was,
You know what I
it
mean?
was a tiny little.
It
Oh
was
my
a
God.
tiny little
Oh
dumpy
my
bar,
God.
right?
Right.
But we saw Seven Dust and
Super
I
cool.
had a cigar with them just because I was smoking one.
That is awesome.
And the drummer,
But that's the case in point.
Yeah.
Like you don't,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
never would think, hey, the drummer of this big band smokes cigars,
Yeah.
and he sees me out of a crowd.
yep, the
and-
bouncer at Lupo's like, "Hey, you
Yeah.
got another one?" I was like, "Yeah."
But you know what
Right.
though? Like if you told that story today
Super
and,
cool.
and you're like, I was smoking a cigar and the bouncer tapped me on the shoulder, it would go a
They'd be
totally
kicking you out.
Yeah, be kicking you
They'd
out.
be
Like,
kicking your ass
What the
out
hell are
of
you
there.
doing smoking a cigar in here?
Yep.
Get out.
Yep. It was crazy.
That's a really
It was-
cool
it was
story. I
super
love
cool.
that. But yeah, that's why I brought that article because it just comes from left field sometimes, and the place you least expect it is you're getting cigar fans, cigar smokers, people want to invest in the industry, and make the industry better. So I just thought it was a really really cool article about how they collaborated together. It was him and a buddy I think that does like whiskey or spirits or something like that, and he got introduced to the folks from Drew Estate, and then they did a little collab. It took them 2 years of taste testing, of sending cigars back and forth and blends back and forth, and they finally found one that they really all liked, and they're making a line out of it. It's pretty cool.
It's super cool. And
Really, really cool.
If you're into music, though, James Hetfield did a country tour with Gretchen Wilson.
No, did he
Yes,
really?
he did. You can look it up on
What?
YouTube. And dude, you want to talk about because her raspy voice
Yeah,
and
yeah.
him shredding on the guitar,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
good, it's a
good?
good duo.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's a good
cool.
duo. So I could picture him smoking stogies, and
Yeah.
I could probably picture her smoking stogies too.
Probably.
but
probably.
anyway,
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's really cool. See, and I like those business innovation stories where it just, random collaboration happens out of connections, and now all of a sudden they're building a blend and building a cigar out of it. So that's pretty cool. I really like that.
you did the former. What's up with the Oliva's Helping Hands?
So
Foundation?
it's their helping hands. It's a foundation. This is another story of businesses giving back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they created a foundation to help kids and families in Nicaragua. They're helping build schools. They're helping with childcare. They're helping the workers out there, and they're starting this whole foundation. And ultimately, it's a lot of the money right now is going to construction of a 30,000 square foot school, and they want to open in 2024. And the article has links where you can go donate to it and things of that nature. They're having what I really liked is they're doing a collab with Balvenie, and they're doing an event in New York on November 30th. It's $100 a ticket. You can pay $150 for VIP access, and it's all got to do with giving back to the community. So, it's the good stories and the community stories coming out of the cigar industry that I love to promote. So, if you're in the New York area and got nothing to do on November 30th, go, give a little money, and you can have some Balvenie Scotch and some good cigars, and you can give back to the folks in Nicaragua, the families in Nicaragua.
Yeah, we get it back to going to an event.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun because at events you get to do stuff like a sampling of whiskey,
Yep.
sampling of beer, sampling
yep.
of wine, sampling
Food.
of food, right? Like because the
Yeah,
food
baby.
comes in smaller portions and
Yep.
you get more
Yep.
dishes throughout the meal, and cigars too,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah,
I think
really cool.
that's really fun.
Yeah, but the Oliva Foundation, they do toy drives during the holidays. I think they raise like 3,000 toys, or they're looking to raise 3,000 toys for the kids in Nicaragua. So, I think it's just an awesome give back to the community. Especially the communities that they're working.
Yeah.
So very cool.
Wait, always wanted to do like a dinner that like we organize where we all get dressed up in like really fancy suits
like
and tuxes,
black tie.
like black tie, mafia style cigar dinner where we all just sit around a big table and we smoke cigars and,
we
and like
talk
eat
about who
those
we want to
with-
hit.
Yeah,
Get on it.
it's like I've always wanted to do like a mafia themed
cigar dinner. Like nothing
oh my
like
God, that'd be
not,
so
not
funny.
hundreds of people, right? But
Yeah, like 50.
You get not even 50, but you just get like a bunch of us friends together, like
Yeah, yeah.
20 of us,
Yep.
right? And you do like I guess it's from The Sopranos, right? When
Sure.
Tony used to have those dinners, and they
Yep.
all be sitting around smoking cigars, eating the fabulous Italian food. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. I'd do that. See if
Let's
Mr.
go.
J's will do that for us.
Yeah, let's rent out Mr. J's
Hell yeah.
for a night.
Let's do
And
it.
Do it.
We can invite a bunch of people.
Invite only.
Yeah. I like it.
Invite only Mafia cigar dinner
Yeah,
has always
we
been
have to
my-
dress up.
Yeah.
Have to
Suit and
dress
tie.
up. Suit and
It is-
tie.
It has a black tie. You would call it a black tie.
Black
event.
tie affair.
Yep.
I dig that. Have a lot of like
I'd rent or buy a tux for that.
Frank
Why not?
Sinatra, Dean Martin playing in the background.
Yeah, dude.
That
It would
kind of
be
stuff,
it would be
yeah.
awesome. It would be cool if we could do it for charity too. Mm-hmm. Proceeds went to charity.
What's a good technology charity in Rhode Island that we could give back
Right.
to? STEM, like
Yeah,
the STEM,
yeah.
STEM something.
That'd
right?
be awesome.
Let's find a good charity. Yes.
Because then you'd invite like our
Our Stogie Geeks friends.
our cyber
Yeah.
nerd Stogie Geeks
Yes.
friends, which would in and of itself limit the guest list to like nerds
But
that
it
like
doesn't-
cigars.
It could
right?
be anybody who's into technology in schools, educating
Mm-hmm.
kids with technology, bring technology to the curriculum. I'd love to do that. That'd be totally
be a
in my
lot of fun.
wheelhouse. All right, let's talk about that because I would so do that, and I would help plan it.
Yeah,
I'm the planner.
I'm not.
You
the
can
planner.
evangelize.
I'm the evangelist. That
Yes.
is literally my.
I will plan, you evangelize, and let's get that done.
I could be the PR guy.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
like,
go.
But I like the kind of mafia.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're doing charity with the mafia, but I do like the mafia
Right.
kind
And
of feel.
I almost
to it,
feel
right?
like
or at least a black tie dinner.
for something like this, you should give it runway though. Like, let's talk to Mr. J's about early spring,
Yes,
and
you
then
got- you need a
we
runway.
promote the shit
Yep.
out of it for months. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
A Saturday in the spring. That'd be super cool, and then we can give back to the community.
Yes.
Yep. And I'm sure
'Cause
I'm sure they could get somebody to sponsor it.
I really enjoy like having a meal with friends.
Yeah.
With cigars.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? I think that's a
Yep.
it's a really cool thing that we don't get to do
Mm-hmm.
very often. There's very few places where you can sit and have a meal and have cigars together.
Did we
now.
just build the Stogie Geeks Foundation?
It could literally like
Maybe we
Stogie
just
Gates
did.
Foundation
Maybe
dinner,
we did.
right?
Maybe we did.
You do it once a year, right? And maybe we limit you don't have to be a guest to contribute, right?
Right.
But we use it as like a fundraiser
Exactly
event.
it.
There's limited amount of tickets.
Yep.
But you can also
can
have people
also donate.
contribute. You can donate and encourage people
From
to
anywhere in the
donate.
world, you can
Yep.
donate. Let's do it.
Be awesome.
I like it. All right. So another happy story I put in there is it just shows how people are kind of moving up through the industry, and it's a story about two twin sisters who launched a Cuban cigar brand out of Miami, and they basically said if you go back and you Google a picture of old Cuban woman smoking a cigar and you get a picture of that, that's their vision of what they saw their grandmother.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's their memory of their grandmother, and they were like, you know what? Let's start a business, right? And they're called the Rodriguez family out there, and they're starting a pretty good business in Miami. And at the end of the day, they have so much demand that they're having a hard time keeping up. So that's how successful they're getting. And I just thought it was a great small business story. People getting into the industry, keeping it in the family, and just the American dream. This is an American dream story for me, and I absolutely love it. And they're partnering with a factory in Esteli, Nicaragua, and they're putting out some good cigars from what I'm hearing. It makes me want to go out and buy a handful and see how good they are and contribute to that small business. So
Yeah.
There's quite a few, I want to say, cigar brands, or at least cigar releases that are very specific to like Florida, like Tampa
Yep.
and Miami.
Yep.
So like if you go to, I mean, you just don't get stuff that's like limited in distribution. There's a lot of cigars we don't get here in the Northeast that are distributed to like Tampa, Miami. There's also ones that like I want to say you can only get in Tampa and Miami, right? Or it's very few other places you can actually get those cigars. That's what I think makes it a cigar destination,
Yeah.
like for us to be able to go to Tampa. And we'd smoke stuff that like we would have never
Yeah.
been able to get really
Yep,
anywhere
yep.
else.
Yep.
I think it'd be
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. I tell people all the time, like what I love about Miami is if you like cigars and cigar culture, across
Yeah.
the street there's another shop. Always. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And
right.
and I also tell them like get yourself some Ziploc bags and a Sharpie when you pack your luggage and write down
What they were, yeah,
especially
yeah,
where
yeah.
you were, especially
Yep,
if you go to
yep.
like the factories in Ybor City, because what happens is you buy a bunch of cigars, they might not have labels on them yet,
Yes.
and stuff like that, and then when you go home, you enjoyed it, but you have no clue like what you even smoked.
Did you went to Tampa not
Oh yeah,
that long ago,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, pre-COVID,
Yeah.
Caden was one. Took Caden to Little Havana. So 2019, we haven't been. We used to go twice a year pre-COVID, both with and without kids.
So I'm not wrong. Like you get stuff there that you normally don't get
Totally.
really anywhere else,
Yep,
right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I always pack Ziploc bags in Shopee. I write down because if you
That's
go
cool.
to like the El Titan LeBron's factory,
Yeah.
right on Calle Ocho, H Street over in Little Havana, they have it's like a wooden bin and it just has the name and it's like typed out or sometimes handwritten. That's all you have. It's,
Yeah.
it's like up and comers.
Like
who-
we made these cigars. Like,
Yeah, we
buy
made
some
these
and smoke
cigars,
them.
we're
Like
gonna sell
it's
them.
not anything you go in any other retailer and
right.
get. Like I
You'll
think
never-
that's cool.
You can get
yeah.
them, now you can get them on their website and all of that stuff, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
for the most part, most of them are unbanded.
Yep.
And so, you know, when you get home and you have 20 cigars and you have no clue what the heck you smoked,
Right.
Ybor City's the same way. It's like a strip of just cigar shops.
There you go. There's
It's
our
like going,
after our Stogie
it's like
Geeks
going to
stuff.
rent them outlets, right?
Right.
It's like going to outlets.
it really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've never been down there, so
Yeah.
Here's what we
It's-
do after we do our Stogie Geeks Foundation dinner in the spring. Maybe next fall is
down
when
there.
we do our trip to
Yeah.
Tampa. We take our
Yeah.
families. We go down to
that'd
we
be
go down to
super
Tampa.
cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's super cool.
I like it.
There we go.
All right,
we
we
got
have
2 trips
plans.
planned. And next month, are we going to do November and December? We're going to try and squeeze them in.
I'd like to.
All right,
I'd like to.
because I love smoking your own bandits. I think it's a lot of fun.
You want to do it again?
I want to keep doing it.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Dude, I want to do it every episode. I
enjoy it.
look forward to the Stogie Geek show more than anything else because I'm like, what's Jason going to give us?
Get out of here. I like that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Jason
guys.
gonna pull
Thanks, guys.
out
I haven't
next,
disappointed
right?
you yet, so that's good.
Yeah, and you got a lot of stuff to live up to, right?
I know. True.
We didn't nail quite as well the cigar this month as we did last month. We were
Yeah,
pretty
you
close.
guys were dead on
Joe,
last one.
Joe is really. I can't take much of the credit. Joe
guys were dead
definitely leads me down the right path, and I just
Yeah.
agree with him. So it's more Joe that's been knocking it out of the park than me. But I like in the cigars you've given us, Jason, have been. There are cigars I would smoke on a regular basis.
I love it. I love it.
So you gotta. I mean, but that's okay.
Yeah.
If you give one and it's a dog rocket, it's still fun. It's still fun, dude. Right?
I will try my
Like,
best
we
not
still
to
go
do that.
through
I will
the
try my best not
exercise,
to do
even
that.
if it's a dog rocket. So it's all good, man. It's all good. It's still entertainment and it's still fun. So I mean, it's better when we like the cigar, but
You know, we're gonna come to the point where I'm bringing in like an unbanded Year of the Rabbit that's $50 a stick, and you guys are this dog shit.
that's what I want to get to. I would love that so much, right? Take one of my favorite cigars, and I'd be like,
this sucks.
this sucks.
It's so different. It's so different. Like it's like kind of like when you take away one of your senses, right?
Yeah.
Because
Oh my
everybody has
God.
preconceived notions
Sure.
of a brand name.
What do they call
Whatever
that?
the brand-
Unconscious bias,
Yeah.
right? Is that,
and so
that-
like here I am. I'm generally, you know, you sniff the foot.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get the pre-draw. You take your time. You write your notes. You're trying to pull out as much data from the stick as
Yep.
you can in a short amount of time while you're doing a show. But it really like keeps your palate
Yes.
sharp, and then your knowledge.
and you really
your
think
knowledge.
you're
And then-
thinking like he zones out.
oh yeah,
Like
yeah, he's
Joe
yeah,
completely zones out. Like I notice he's like in his own head, and we're having conversations about articles. He's like waking up and he's like, "What are we talking about?"
Because I'm going through a Rolodex.
I know, but you can see
I
it.
go
He's
through
like,
a
you can
Rolodex
see
of
your
how-
gears. You can see your
he is
gears.
mentally reverse engineering that cigar.
Yeah,
You know, and
you're exercising the brain, man.
I totally
in your
enjoy it,
senses, yeah.
you know? And
I like
I'd
it,
like
I
to
like
say
it.
I do that for most sticks, but you know, like Paul, we
Yeah.
like to work and type with the stick. So when you're typing and doing your thing and doing
Yeah.
your work, you're enjoying the stick, but you're not really like taking the moment out. And
Right,
this
right.
allows, you know, of just the repertoire of sticks that we smoke throughout
Yep.
the cadence
Yep.
to go through and really digest.
Yeah.
We really
so
know a lot
we're
of
gonna do it
stuff
every episode,
about
Jason.
sticks.
At least
long
at some because I do not have the palate that you guys have. I'm just gonna put it out there.
But you'll get there.
But at
That's-
some point, I want you guys I want one of you to do it for the other two. for the
Oh
other
yeah,
three,
yeah.
right?
Agreed. We should.
Because at some point, I want to start testing my palate.
Yeah.
You know
You'd
what I
be
mean?
surprised at how much you.
I don't know if I'm there yet though.
No, but as long as you can get into the region, like
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
like you know, you don't have to get rapid bind to filler.
Yep.
Like I always tell people, you know, when they come into the cigar shop, well, what do you smoke? Why do you like it? This, that, and the other
Yep,
thing.
yep.
You know, focus on what you like, and then the region first.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you go from there, and then you just get some other stuff going. But yeah,
All right.
it's super cool.
So we'll do it again. We'll do it again.
So we'll
November-
talk. We'll
November,
talk.
definitely.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll make sure that we start to switch it up now. So Jason's not always on the hook for the unbanned.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll do it again next month.
Okay.
I actually enjoy going hunting.
Okay.
I like going hunting. I like finding
When you
it.
get burnt on it, make sure you tell
Yeah,
us.
no,
so we could-
definitely will. It's
yeah.
just at some point I want to get comfortable enough to jump in, put my skin in the game, and say, you know what, I'm going to test my palate.
Well, have you had that stick before we had it today?
A long time ago.
But could you extract like what we like? Would you know it had some element of Honduran in it?
Probably.
Yeah,
But now you know, just doing these, you're going to start building.
And that's what I'm doing.
Because you smoked it with us and you heard us describing
exactly
it the whole time.
So I'm learning through this,
And our
which I
audience can
love.
do that at home. Our audience can go get the cigar.
I absolutely love that. That I'm
and smoke
learning
it.
through this whole thing, right?
Yeah, and that's a good learning process.
And I'm not saying next month or the month after. I'm saying let's do this for a while.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'm going to say, you want to know what? I want it to be my turn.
Yeah.
I want to be part of the.
Yeah, we'll flip it.
Yeah.
My only advice is like you set yourself up a roadmap, right? So
Yeah.
so I go wrapper binder filler.
Yep.
And then I go first, second, and third half.
Yep.
And then I go pre-draw.
Yep.
And just stop listing the characteristics.
And see,
as
that's
they
what I
come
don't
out.
do. You
And
you
then-
write it all down so
Yeah.
you start remembering and you can refer back to it.
Sure.
I've never done any of that.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to start. Like I
Yeah.
think I'm going to actually start writing things down and you know, getting it and then really getting into that flavor profile and identifying it. So I want to fine tune those senses. But yeah, at some point I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. There's no
But
doubt about it.
Advice-wise, Paul, you would say for the Stogie Geek listener and Jason, try to define region first. That'd be the
Yeah.
Try to define region
Gotcha.
before wrapper binder. Fill.
Start higher level and you
Yep,
will
yep,
your way
okay.
down.
Yeah,
So
cool.
it's fun. I love doing it.
I love doing it
Thank
too.
you.
Super fun.
All of you. Jason, thank you for the cigar.
Always.
And
Thank
thanks everyone for listening and watching. We'll see you next time on the Stogie Geek Show.